This reading is for Marissa. Hey, Marissa, thank you so much for your interest in your Big Six reading. So, to start with, I like to look at the Big Three. And on this page, you can see it kind of breaks it down into the energies that you have. We're going to talk about that too as it relates to your personal six planets. But for the Big Three, you have the Leo rising. So, that's the fire fixed energy, the Scorpio sun, which is water fixed energy, and the Pisces moon, which is water adaptable or mutable energy. So with a Leo rising, that starts the first house for you, and then all the houses that follow are going to be affected by the starting house of Leo. So this sets the tone for how you experience new things and how people experience you, or how you dawn on people who you first meet. So in the sign of Leo, that fire energy, people will be impressed by your enthusiasm for life in general. You probably have a ability to get other people excited about situations, or get people energized about what you need to accomplish. School, work, family settings, you kind of bring this energy of, let's do this. I am ready to go. It's an action sign. And it's all about creating and letting people see how creative you are and how you have incredible gifts to show people. The Leo rising needs to be around people so that they can receive back the reassurance that, yes, they are unique in a way that they can give people inspiration and their creative gifts. So if they are alone, then there's nobody to bounce those ideas off of. There's no audience, so to speak. So the Leo rising person needs these relationships where they have a chance to be emotionally vulnerable, to achieve that reassurance from other people. It's the sign of being passionate and being emotionally sensitive in a way that sometimes there's a side of you that doesn't want to show people your talents because of fear that it's not going to be perceived well, that people might not think you're good enough, or that you're not funny enough, or whatever it is that you are naturally gifted in. There is this sensitivity of being rejected by others, but that is the goal of the Leo rising, is to summon that courage and be brave and put yourself out there so people can really see your light, and in return you can feel yourself understand, oh yes, like there's nothing I have to be timid about or insecure about. I am truly gifted and talented, and the world needs to see that, and I need to be brave enough to let them see that and let them in. So in a way, the rest of your energy is decided on how that Leo rising shows up. So we want to make sure that we nourish that Leo rising and give it every chance to be confident and fully 100% giving their best effort, so that the rest of the chart is energized. You have the fire of the sun in the start of your chart, and when that is in a good position, the rest of your chart lights up. So let's look at your sun sign, because Leo rising is ruled by the sun, and that is how you dawn on people, with this bright sunshine energy. Let's see where your sun is Scorpio in the fourth house. So on a level of how you see yourself and how you are with most people, we look to the sun. The sun helps us realign if we feel off balance. We go and we do look at what house and sign the sun is to help feel realigned in who we are. It's the quickest fix. Of course, there's so much more to the chart, but the sun is really the essence of our conscious ego. So in the fourth house, that means that family life is important to you. in the fixed water energy, you are an emotional person and you really take a while to form relationships with people who you call family. And then you protect these people and you fiercely care about them. So it's a very protective energy. And now that is another fixed energy for you. You might not love change, and you might really try to hold on to things in your family life or in yourself and really feel a sense of off-putting when something has to change. The interesting part about that is that Scorpio is the sign of transformation, right? It's ruled by Pluto, which is transformation. So in your life, you might actually undergo a lot of different transformations. You might be born so many times in your lifetime. Psychologically, Scorpio is a very psychological sign, and it's the intensity, but it's the ability to transform if you're willing to let go of things and go with it. So while it might not always be comfortable, we know that growth is never comfortable. And when the sun is in Scorpio, you're asking for a life of change and evolution and growth. And there's power in it every time. So you are like the phoenix that is burned down and then reborn into something better and magical every time. So you need to lean into that and appreciate that and not be holding on so tight to things in your life and in your family life. There's a healing energy too. So you might be, it's very close to like the psychic energy. And it's a healing emotional energy that you have for people and family members. It's just this deep sensitivity to other people's needs and feelings. Like they might not even have to say anything. You can just catch people's moods and want to help cleanse that and emotionally connect and make people feel secure around you. So your home life is probably something where you hear a lot of secrets or emotional pains of other people and you try to help them find a safe space for that, and you are their safe space for that. So let's go on to the moon. The moon is our most soulful level, subconscious. It's those relationships that are so intimate within ourselves and with just a few people. So how we are emotionally present and our instinctual nature, how we react to emotional situations, and where we look for emotional security. So in the sign of Pisces, you're looking for emotional security on a real collective emotional level. And it's almost like your need for spirituality is so deep that when you have it, you feel really aligned with yourself and the universe and people at large. And there's this compassionate side to you. And it just really magnifies that psychic healing energy that you have. So you have it consciously and you probably are aware of it. But even on a deeper subconscious level, your energy and your presence is a healing energy, and it's in the eighth house. So that is the house of metaphysical studies, and it's things that are not always acceptable, maybe even taboo, but it's where your energy is comfortable, and it's where you want to know more and dive deeper and get an even deeper understanding of things that you cannot see and maybe you can't fully explain with words, but on an emotional feeling level, you really connect and understand. In the house of the eighth house and relating to the mother and maternal inheritances, you might have a mom or a mom-like person who also has like some kind of psychic ability that has been passed down to you, or like in a spiritual awareness that you can kind of lean into to learn more. It can also be material inheritance, but in the sign of Pisces, it makes me think it's more of a spiritual connection or some type of healing or mystic work that you have inherited from that side of your family and that you might be called to do in life with your, I know this is not part of your big three, but your MC in Taurus, it like a higher vocation for you would be something maybe with natural sensual things. So you might find healing that you are called to do to cleanse energy, emotionally heal people, but through like their senses. I could see you being like really good, gifted in like massage or Reiki or chakra cleansing, some type of work that involves maybe touching people or getting them back into their physical body in a cleansed way. Really interesting stuff here. So let's look on to now your next part, which let's look at Venus. Let's look how you handle yourself in love, what you're attracted to, what your romantic nature is. So in the sign of Sagittarius in the fifth house, you being in love is very exciting for you. It brings you alive, and it's in a nice aspect to your ascendant here. So they stand and look at each other in a very peaceful way. It's called a trine, and it's a wider orb there, but it's still significant in the fact that that energy that you bring when you meet someone, when it feels right, it really makes you feel lit up inside, and you really do enjoy in the fifth house romantic affairs and falling in love. And in the sign of Sagittarius, sometimes that doesn't mean that it's, a one and done deal. It could just mean that you enjoy your adventure in romantic affairs, and that you really look for people who have some type of higher belief in themselves too. When you are attracted to somebody, you want to be looking up at the stars with them at night, asking what the big questions are. Why are we here? Where did we come from? What's the point of all this? That kind of stuff is exciting to you, and you look for that in a partner too. You want somebody who has thought about the big point of all of this and doesn't get stuck in the everyday details of life. You're looking for someone who wants a grand adventure and that wants to go on it with you and go to new places and see new things. You might even fall in love on trips in foreign places if you travel overseas, or even just to a town that you're unfamiliar with, really diving into the culture of the new experiences. You might find that you really meet a local there that sparks your interest, and you have a romantic affair in one of these places. It's all about adventure and expanding your world and love that you want to experience. Going to Mars, that is our drive, ambition, what really gets you going. What are your focuses? What are you, what type of person are you when you want to get work done? You set a goal. What are you willing to fight for, work for? Who are you willing to fight with to get what you want? In the 12th house, Mars can be a little repressed. It feels like sometimes there are different ways of how we handle anger. Sometimes earlier in life, it means that we were kind of told that our opinions or our choices, our voice was kind of suppressed. Some people were raised with children are to be seen and not heard. And in the Mars and 12th house, sometimes that's how that was for you, because there's an authority there that is pushing your opinions down. And it can take a while for the Mars to develop healthfully. Sometimes you turn into somebody that's like an emotional volcano because they never got to really release their anger in childhood and it be okay in a safe way. They were always told like anger is bad. You cannot do that, which we know is not true. There's just ways to be angry in a healthy way. And sometimes in Mars in the 12th house, especially in a Cancer sign, you have a lot of emotions and sometimes they're quickly moving. Cancer is ruled by moon and the emotions come a lot. So it's one of those things that you have to learn to find a safe space to release your emotions. But it can make you have a very spiritual drive. And I feel that in your chart, every spiritual house 4, 8, and 12, you have planet energies in. If you're not already invested in spiritual work, then you need to be, because that's how you heal younger wounds. And that's how you feel connected to source. And that's how you heal others. So I feel like your chart is saying to you, there is ambition, drive, and spiritual growth in these spiritual houses, all of your spiritual houses have water signs in it. So you're just being called to spiritual growth in this life and spiritual connections, spiritual work, clearing past traumas and working your way into a deeper collective understanding here. So lastly, let's look at Jupiter. And in Jupiter, we look for luck. Where are we gifted with things? Where do things come easily? Where are we asked to be generous and take chances? So let's see here. I just like to throw that in because it's a fun one to look at. So for you, it's in the third house. So you're gifted with your ability to communicate and get your message across to people. So it might make you a good writer, speaker, have many friends, be a good student, wherever you want to um, expand your knowledge and understanding, you will be gifted with the ability to do that. In the sign of Libra, you might really enjoy companionships like with your siblings or close people in your community. People like to be around you and they want to hear your perspective on things. So be sure that you're sharing that with them and that you take chances to talk to people on a day-to-day basis, that you're not really, like that Leo rising in you want to avoid being any kind of hermit. With your water energy, it can make you a little bit more introverted, but you have a lot of gifts to connect to people. So we want to make sure that you're doing that and that you're not holding back from opportunities to share your perspective and knowledge with other people on a community level, because that's how you really connect and people get to share in your gifts. Let's see, I actually didn't time this, so I don't know where we are on time, but I feel like that covers most of what I wanted to talk about from the energy I got from your chart just briefly. Looking at this sheet here, you get a little bit more information, so I'll message that to you too. Okay, thanks so much.